Hello, people. It's your boy Ambassador again. As usual, you have seen the new trend, just my opinion. It's me reacting to videos, giving my opinion. Ask you guys to give your opinions in the comment section, just so we can engage to build a critical mass. Please like, share, subscribe. Most important, your comments. I want people to, when you listen to these things, give your comments so that I know what you're thinking about what I've said. You must not agree with me. In fact, don't even agree with me. I just want you to think about it. Tell me what you think, and I could react, and we can have some exchange out here. Okay, the next thing is I saw this video about Africans suffering in the desert, struggling to go to Europe.
Sometimes it feels like success is a trap, and sometimes it feels like people don't understand. Cause the pressure plenty, and the expectations high. Even your day ones were supposed to get your back, sometimes they won't they fight. And everybody has an opinion, but how you supposed to live your life. And even people were supposed to show you the way, now the people they back by. No be pride, no be ego. Sometimes I gotta change my mind, sometimes I gotta stay behind, sometimes I will have to say no. Sometimes I got forward down top my head, make this pressure no go drive me insane, no. So if you see me outside and I no greet you, no vex, papa my head in full, oh. And mama you know the level. Now this hustle like this.
And I think I've spoken about these things times in passing, but it's something it keeps happening. I went to Europe for a while, and I recall when I was about to go to Europe, the grand frère was to receive me. They told me like, grand frère, that's French, we say big brother. He told me like, Cyprus is a very difficult country, and I was like, grand frère, you are there now? He said yes. I said, you are there, I'm coming. And if they're shooting people in the airport, I'll dodge the bullets and enter. That's to show at what point, no matter when someone really wants to go, there's nothing you can tell them not to go. I'm saying something serious. I told him that I'm coming no matter what. And I went there, saw the way things were, came back to Africa, I decided to start building things from my own perspective. So that's just to say, if there is a pull factor and a push factor, people will always go. We have to address the push factor and the pull factor if we don't want them to go. Just telling them not to go is not enough, and it will not even work. When someone really wants to go and at that desperate place, forget it, they will go. That being said, let's look at the pull factors. I think the first pull factor for those who did human econs geography, we always, for migration, we always did pull factor and push factors. So you'll be familiar with that. So pull factor for me are the things that are making them to want to go, that is attracting them from there. Push factor is what is pushing them from here to want to run and go. That being said, pull factors, I think the media, that was for me, that was one of the main things, because growing up, I was so much in this hip hop and Western style where, for those who knew me, I was in a dance crew, I was playing basketball, so I knew that I was Etazen all the way. I was wearing those jackets. So in my mind, when I had my advanced level, I just knew I'm going to a college. I don't even want to call it university, because in America they just call it college, where I'm going to play basketball in the team. They're going to give us those jackets where you wear the team jacket. Then the cheerleaders always be around you people. That kind of vibe. So the media sells us those dreams of everything is happening there and everything is perfect. So one, if we can also sell our own dreams to our young people, like it can be done here, you can live those dreams here, they might not be that convinced to want to go. So as long as it's only we are watching but CNN showing us hunger here and then nice houses in New York, then everybody wants to go to nice houses. As long as it's just telenovelas from Beverly Hills and from Philippines that we are watching, everybody will want to, because for the girls, the true romance is only in those places. For the boys, the Jay-Z lifestyle is only in those places. So if our own media, like what the Nigerians are doing now, and you can see it working for them to an extent though, they are selling their own things and life can happen. There are many people in the diaspora coming back to make things happen. They are selling that dream. That's the narrative they are running with. But if we don't have any agenda, no narrative, then we leave it open for whatever the rest tell us. That's what it is. The next thing is the success stories. While I watch this video, I think that morning before coming to work, in the central town of Yaoundé, the 3 billboards that are there have Francis Ngannou. We all know Francis Ngannou's story. He walked through that same desert to get to France, then America. How do you tell a young man not to travel through the desert if the only story we are celebrating right now is somebody who walked through the desert to go and make it happen? And he comes back and we're all celebrating. We're not celebrating any Jean-Claude Dynamique who struggled to walk through the ladders of Cameroon. We're not celebrating any entrepreneur who made it from here. We're not celebrating any football player who break through in the local league. We are celebrating those coming from outside. So that tells them that the real success story is when you come from outside. We know it. For me, the two most popular and loved personalities now in Africa and abroad, in Cameroon and abroad, is Eto'o and Francis Ngannou. Both of those guys did not make it in Africa. Eto'o also went illegally to France and was even repatriated. Then he went now legally to Spain. Ngannou just went illegally to France and then kept on moving till he went to the US. And now we are celebrating them. So, the success stories we celebrate is also one of the pull factors combined with the media that makes young people to feel that it can happen only there. So you don't blame them when you just see them walking in the desert. It did not start when they were walking in the desert. It started when they started watching the series from when they were 12 years old and making their dreams that when I go to America, I'll make it happen. So if we want to address some of these issues of immigration, we should look at it from that angle. Push factors. Push factors, we are all living the push factors. I don't know if for those who are in Africa, I don't even need to start telling them the difficulties they're going through. From lights that we can just be here now, so you see the camera goes dark, not that we don't have lights. To issues of transportation, to corruption in every sector, to the various, should I call it, insecurity / political instability. Nigeria is striking right now. And I always tell people, when Nigeria is striking, for those in Cameroon, I feel even more threatened because if anything goes wrong in Nigeria, just the refugee population that can flow into Cameroon will not be able to handle it. And that will come with a lot of insecurity, insufficiency of, let's say, social amenities and all of those things. So, when we're having all of this political instability in Africa, we should be very well aware that those are the factors that are pushing young people to leave. I was watching a podcast the other day where I think it's some terms and conditions where they were saying that during these last strikes that they just had now, they have never really thought about wanting to leave Cameroon or to leave Nigeria. But for once, they are buying into the idea that they want to leave Africa. So, even myself, that days when I get really frustrated, I'm trying to do something and then lights go off. And I'm some international meeting and then light blackout. I'm like, what am I doing in Cameroon? I have the means, I have the networks, I have the opportunities to leave. I'm just struggling to make things happen here. But it's almost like the world is against you to stop you from getting those things done. Unemployment, we all know. I was lucky as soon as I left school, maybe it's because I came with a foreign degree, I had a job. But that's not the story for 90% of the young people. And when you're unemployed, the chain goes down. It starts from unemployment that leads you to poverty, then hunger. This order which I have presented is not necessarily chronological because somebody might even be hungry even before they finish school to be unemployed, then they are just stuck in their poverty. But that's that chain which, once a young person is living through it, they want to go. Those are the push factors. Lastly, I'll talk about family pressure, which for me is one of the most important, especially for Africans. It's one of the most important institutions, the most important foundation is your family. Once you're in a family where one, they're putting pressure on you to survive, to succeed, have you not seen your friend, what are you doing with your life, you get to that point where you just either I should die or I make something out of my life. And when the guy is in the desert, you say, well, why did he go there? You don't know why he went there. You know, you made him to go there. You don't have any clear plan. I always tell people, like, most African parents gamble with the future of their children. You don't have any company for him. You have not created a company for him to work in. You have not created a clear career path to support him through. You just hoping that, okay, just be going to school. You write this concours. Maybe if you pass, but if you don't pass this one, you go to the other one. Then if you don't pass, maybe we'll see if you can travel abroad. What plan is that? So the last thing for me is family pressure. We don't, as they say in French, encadrage. We don't encadre our youths. We don't accompany them, guide them, mentor them, counsel them, orient them towards particular jobs or professions or future options. But we just expect them to make it, and when they don't make it, the blame is on them. Social pressures, family pressures especially, which is the most difficult. You can escape from all your friends and whatever you say, but when you come into the house where you should feel that you should be in security there and still you're having pressure and attacks, then it's better to just go into the desert and you die, you well, as we say in pidgin English. So I think I'll just round up with that. I'll talk a lot about these issues, but I'll just round up with that. When you watch that video and you see the way they're struggling through the desert, then you begin to ask yourself, like, where did we really go wrong? Qu'est-ce qui n'a pas marché? So I'll talk about these things a lot of other times, but I want people to just give me their opinion. What do you think about that? What are some of the push factors I've forgotten? What are some of the pull factors I've forgotten? How do you think we can solve this problem? Because at the end of the day, we're not just talking to talk, we're also trying to see how we can solve these problems. That's why I think I've raised the problem, I've also made some suggestions on how we can solve it. As usual, like, share, please comment, give me your opinion. As usual, it's your boy Ambassador. I'm out.
Just my opinion.